The weather on this day in mid-October is sunny and cool. The leaves on the trees have turned brilliant colors. But on this day in mid-January, the weather is bitter cold. The trees have long since dropped their leaves. Snow blankets the ground. This time of year is called winter. It's the winter season. A season is one of 4 periods of the year. The winter season follows the fall season. What is the general weather like in winter? How do plants and animals survive? What kinds of things do people do in winter? And what causes winter? During the next few minutes, we're going to answer these questions as we explore the beauty and challenges of the winter season. Some people aren't especially fond of winter because they don't like the weather. But others enjoy many fun winter activities. You observe. Describe the weather on this typical winter day. The overall weather is cold. In fact, it's so cold, it's snowing. The temperature is below freezing. The winter season has the greatest amount of cold weather. Even if you live in a relatively warm climate, winter is still noticeably colder than summer. People living in many northern places and mountainous areas often receive lots of snow during the winter season. You may have noticed that during winter, the days tend to be shorter than the nights. The sun rises late and sets early, and often it's dark before people even eat dinner. Let's take a look at some of the ways plants and animals live in winter. In many places, leaves drop off the trees in late fall. Frosts often stop the growth of soft stem plants for the season. Many of these plants then enter a state of dormancy during the winter season. Dormancy is a condition in which plants are not growing. They have a low level of activity, kind of like sleeping. Some animals go through a similar state of dormancy called hibernation. Hibernation is a sleep-like state where all body activities slow down. By hibernating, animals avoid having to search for food during the cold, snowy months of winter. When the weather warms in spring, they come out of hibernation. And what about animals that don't hibernate? Animals that do not hibernate have adaptations that help them cope with life in winter. An adaptation is a characteristic or behavior that helps a living thing survive. You decide. Describe the material that covers this squirrel. This squirrel is covered with a thick, hairy coat called fur. Fur is an adaptation that helps many animals stay warm in cold winter weather. If you like to ski, ice skate, or slide downhill, then you probably really enjoy winter. Snow and ice enable people to do things outdoors that they aren't able to do in other seasons. Of course, snow and ice also make winter a challenge. Snow needs to be plowed or shoveled after a storm. Colder temperatures also mean people need to dress in layers to stay warm and to protect their skin. Buildings also need to be heated by fuels burned in furnaces, wood stoves, or fireplaces to help people stay warm. As we've discussed already, winter has the coldest weather of all the seasons. But what causes this? The answer is in the movement of Earth around the sun. As you know, Earth is kind of like a ball in that it has a general spherical shape. In space, Earth is tilted at an angle on an imaginary line called an axis. As Earth orbits around the sun during the year, its axis is always tilted in the same direction. You observe. Describe the tilt of Earth's northern hemisphere in relation to the sun. The northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun. It's winter. During winter, the northern hemisphere receives the least amount of sunlight, and the weather is the coldest. During the past few minutes, we've explored many of the interesting features of winter. We began by discussing how the days are short and the overall weather is cold. Then we took a look at how living things survive in winter. We highlighted some of the fun things people do in winter. And last, we saw how the northern hemisphere is tilted away from the sun, causing the winter season. Fill in the correct word to complete the sentence. Number 1. The winter season has the greatest amount of weather. Number 2. In winter, the days are. Number 3. Most plants are in a state of in winter. Number 4 is a sleep-like state where animals are sheltered from winter. And number 5, the northern hemisphere is tilted from the sun in winter.